we are, second F10 M5 video, and this one is all about stage one tuning. So stage one tuning is done on this car, it is complete, I'm happy with it, and I've got loads of numbers and details to share with you guys. So to get started, what is stage one? What have I actually done? Stage one means that there's no hardware modifications on this car. There's no different air boxes, nothing done to the exhaust, nothing at all. The only thing that's been changed is software. So engine's been adjusted, and so is the gearbox. So main reason for doing the gearbox was I didn't like the way that it shifted. I found that the Auto 8 box was a bit lazy in comparison to the DCT. A lot smoother, but a bit slower. So how have I found putting on XHP's stage 3 gearbox software? I found it amazing. It's brilliant. When you're at full chat, the gears feel about double the speed in shift times now. The box feels a lot more reactive, and also when I just want to poodle around and drive around like normal, sort of like I am now, it's brilliant. It's still smooth, it's still got that nice less aggressiveness than the DCT. So what I would say, that benefit of a DCT, it's quick, it's fast, and the Auto 8 was always a lot smoother. Putting this map on has sort of got it catched up with the aggressiveness of the DCT when it comes to fast shifting, but also you're not losing that nice gentle shift. So from me, I would recommend it, and I do like it. Over to the stage one tuning, I've tried to log and record this in as many ways, so depending on who you are and how you like your numbers, hopefully I can cater for you. So if we was to look at the stock video, we would have seen that it was producing around 608 at the crank on the Dyno Pro. So we've now had this on the actual dyno, and it was producing 614. So there's two dynos to compare it to. Now, once it's tuned, on the actual dyno, we're seeing it at 705, and on the Dyno Pro, we are seeing it at 715. So, two different dynos, two different sets of readings, and this is one of the reasons why we like to use the Draggy as well. So, going over to the Draggy, you're going to see that stock, this car was doing it in 7 seconds. It's now doing it in 6, and that is 7 seconds flat, and that is 6 seconds flat as well. So if I went out and I got the temperatures right and I had no fuel in the tank, it might do a 5.9, it might do this, it might do that. But just for a fair comparison, I've just took them both out one night, done 4 or 5 pulls, and just seen what the best one is out of those, and that's what I've seen, a 1 second solid gain. I've also done the quarter mile. It was really damp and horrible last night. I don't mean to make excuses, but there you go, I am. But standard, it was doing a 10.9 quarter mile, and now with the stage one, it is doing a 10.4, which I think is really impressive. My F10, even with all the power, it'll never do a 10.4. 10.4 is really good. Also, going over to the 0 to 60 standard, it was doing it in 3 seconds. Now it's doing it in 2.7. So they're not shocking numbers, they're not amazing numbers, but they're good solid gains, and all it's needed is software changes, which I think is fantastic. As for actual drivability, it feels a lot more exciting now. This car, to me, from the power that I'm used to, it felt really fast, up to about 60 mile an hour. Once I got to 60, 70, I felt that power drop away a little bit, if I'm completely honest, and I didn't like it. Now, it just keeps on pulling, it pulls right round. So it's made quite a noticeable difference in that sense as well. Now, it weren't just power that's been changed in the ECU. A couple of other little bits have been tweaked as well, just for my personal preference. So for example, when you turn the car on, the startup roar's a little bit louder. I've left the cold start enabled for now because I still have all the cats and whatnot in. And I've also made on Sport Plus, the burble's just a little bit more aggressive. So they're the changes that have been made to the car from stock to stage one. But I absolutely love it. I haven't lost none of the drivability. So like now, the car just feels like it did before I got it. It feels, sorry, before I got it, before I tuned it. It just feels completely normal. I could drive around with the missus, with the baby. Ain't gonna have no one going, oh, the car feels jerky, oh, it feels really aggressive, oh, can you be a bit smoother? There ain't gonna be none of that, because the car drives exactly like it did before. But go hit that Sport Plus, and the car's going to turn into a beast. And the testing that done was last night. It wasn't damp, it was actually wet, and it was showing us 4 degrees. It's only 5 degrees today, it's absolutely freezing at the moment, but I was able to produce those times and get that level of grip in those temperatures. Now, all the runs have also been done on stock tyres and stock wheels, so they're on the P0s So for you guys that maybe follow me on Insta and whatnot, you may have seen that I've gone and bought some 21-inch wheels. They're not on the card yet. One reason, I'm waiting for the TPMS sensors, and two, I want things to be consistent. If I go do a load of draggy runs, 100 to 200 on stock wheels, and then I go do them on a set of 21s, either stock or stage one could have an advantage in that case, because of different rolling circumferences, different weights of wheels, etc. And plus they're on 4Ss, which are, in my opinion, a slightly grippier tyre. So if you're watching this video and this is something that appeals to you, and you think, you know what, I wouldn't mind actually doing a bit of tuning on my F90, you're thinking, how can I get in contact with myself? Well, on our website, via email, phone calls, Facebook. I'd say Facebook or phone call is probably the best way to get in touch with me. And if you're thinking, well, how is he going to tune the car? There's multiple ways that can be done as well. So we're a tuner on the Bootmod 3 platform. You're welcome to have the car tuned in person on the workshop. We can send you out one of our handheld devices, and we also have 4 guys that work around the UK providing maps for people as well. So depending on whatever one of those services fits you best. The other thing that's worth talking about is the draggy times actually, and the power that the car's producing. So like I said, on the actual dyno, we're calculating that it's around 705, and on the Dyno Pro we're calculating it to be around 715, and it's doing a 6-second 100 to 200. So like an F10 for example, you'd need to be making 750 plus to be doing that sort of time, and you'd need to take all the cats out. So what's the deal with the F90? Is it underrated from factory? Is it this, is it that? I personally don't believe so. I think it's the gearbox. I think the gearbox is at a much better ratio and having that extra gear and better suited towards 100 to 200, and that is why we're seeing the better times with less power. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what makes sense to me.